Great, welcome everybody. My name is Kevin Aspergren. I'm the head of school here at Seacrest Country Day School. It's a pleasure to welcome you to another virtual open house. The format that we're using tonight is one where we're really just doing an overview of Seacrest, our unique experience, our differentiators, and you'll have a chance to hear from all of our division heads. The other formats that we use, and you'll be seeing this again, I guess week after next we'll resume, will be our open houses, our virtual open houses, where it's really focused on each of the three divisions. So it's the division head speaking about lower school, division head speaking about middle school, and so forth with the upper school. I really want to take this opportunity also to thank our teachers and our staff. They really have done a great job over the past recent weeks as we've transitioned to remote learning. We've been hearing great feedback from our parents, also from within the community, and actually throughout Southwest Florida, which we are validating by the fact that during this time, we are actually having families that are interested in joining us during this academic year. So tonight, we're going to spend some time talking about this academic year, as well as, of course, families that are looking to Seacrest for next year. I want to begin tonight's agenda by introducing Mr. Ryan Jobe, who is our Director of Admission. He comes to Seacrest with a lot of experience. I'm going to let him talk about himself, though. He's been here a long time in many different roles and has a great background. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Jobe now, and I'll let him run with things. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you, Kevin. Welcome to virtual Seacrest. As you can see, there's a few of us on campus, but do not worry, we've got over 40 acres on our campus. We are very far apart from one another. So I have been at Seacrest since 2006. Started out as a middle and upper school math teacher, coached everything under the moon, did robotics, technology. One of the big parts of Seacrest is we love people that come here wanting to wear many hats. I left the country for a year. I was overseas. When I returned, I was very eager to figure out a way to get back to this school community, and that's when I was lucky enough to join the admission side, and I've been here ever since, about 6 years now in this role. Hope this finds you all in good health, as best that you can during these interesting times, and even hopefully enough, lucky enough to find some silver linings in what we're presented with right now. I mean, I think it's a great reminder for me, not being able to go through the campus on a day-to-day basis, which is the best part of my job, and talking with the students and seeing what's going on in the classes. Yet through some of these challenges, really, it tests the community, the strength and the value that we bring to this corner of the world, and the students and parents that are a part of our community. So, with that, we hang our hat on claiming every one of our students, of partnering not only with our students, but with our parents, and certainly, being able to instill and make sure that creativity doesn't die just because we're not in the classroom together, and also making sure we're continuing to breed just great human beings. And so that's a silver lining to me, that it just makes me so proud of this community, that it's been proven, and in a very, I would say, even more public way now that we're digital, which is kind of an odd concept. But it's been very clear just how mission driven we are and how we are able to deliver on that mission. So those of you with us live, I actually put the mission statement in the comment section. Those of you watching recording, I can get that to you as well. But since 1983, it's been true, and it's true more so now than ever, that the world does not need students rooted in the traditional model of education, where content regurgitation and testing are king. Information is ubiquitous. It's free. It's out there. Students truly don't need schools for content any longer. Don't get me wrong. We still teach necessary and great content and provide a rigorous foundation for all of our students to guide them down whatever path their passions will take them. But we understand that in today's world, that's less than half the battle. We need to make sure we are leading a generation knows how to find credible and reliable information. You know, they know how to analyze, they know how to synthesize. Sure, every school's going to say we got to teach them how to problem solve. Sure, we feel a lot of people are dropping the ball in problem formation. How do you ask the right questions? What does an essential question actually mean? What are the questions that I can't just type into Google to answer for me? We definitely have to make sure we're teaching collaboration and to be flexible in your thinking. I think you know, one of the attributes out there that the world is craving is creativity. And a buzzword that gets thrown around all the time is grit. We talk about grit and failure a lot on our campus. We feel that it's a generation right now that feels like they have to look perfect on paper or their life success is over. That in itself is crazy for building the concept of grit. Children need to be able to try new things, put themselves out there, fall down, pick themselves up, and learn from it. We want your child to come here and fail. I do not mean come here and fail their math class, but I mean maybe he's a top baseball player and he ends up coming here and he joins the theater. You know, maybe she's an art student that gets passionate and fired up and, you know, encouraged by friends to join the robotics team. That's what we want and expect from our community. You know, so I think also, you know, depending on how you define success, hopefully it aligned with the ways that we do, but we need to make sure our children are kind, compassionate, and they're happy. So, you know, when we send our graduates off and in about 6 weeks, they're going to either in person or virtually walk across the stage at graduation. And actually soon you're going to meet one of those soon to be graduates on here. They need to make sure they know themselves as individuals, as learners. They've have an opportunity to, again, go beyond just looking good on paper, but finding the things that actually motivate them, that give them their purpose in life. And, you know, that's what our focus is all about. So when they leave our campus, they've figured out that next step where they're going to thrive. In 4 years, they're going to graduate. You know, depending on how old your child is, there's always, I've got a 20-month-old. There's always that element in the back of our head, they've got to get into a good college. Sure, that's a part of it, without a doubt. Make sure they enjoy the journey and process and understand why they might go to XYZ university. So fully making the college counseling process about a match to be made versus a prize to be won. There is no such thing as your parenting report card by the bumper sticker of what college your child goes to. It's about finding that fit where they are going to get the most out of that experience. And you know what the cool thing is, the rest of the educational world is now starting to echo the things that we've been saying since 1983. You got prominent independent schools and not just private schools. You've got public schools that are trying to do the holistic whole child approach that we've been doing since our doors opened 37 years ago. So I think it's a cool thing. You know, the world is catching up, trying to give our children what they actually need. So with that, I want to turn it over to one of these individuals, Sabrina Perez, who's been with us since 5th grade. So she's been in all 3 divisions, and like I mentioned, is getting ready to leave us soon, but we'll never, you know, she'll never be far away. She'll be a Stingray for life. So Sabrina, are you here?
Yes, hi. I'm Sabrina Perez, and like Mr. Job just said, I am a senior this year, unfortunately. And I really just can't begin to explain how impactful Seacrest has been in not only shaping me as a student, but shaping me as a person in general. Something I think that's so special about Seacrest is that every child, I feel like, loves to learn when they start off. Like, we are just curious by nature, and we ask questions, and we have this desire to answer those questions. But unfortunately, due to the stress of the schooling system and a lot of this like competitive drive that we have in our society, unfortunately, I feel like that love for learning kind of gets crushed as you grow older, which is really sad to think about. And something that really puts Seacrest apart is that they teach you how they foster that love for learning constantly in every single division. And just the way that they do that is by creating a community that's just so safe that I feel that I can ask a question in class and not be afraid of asking that and delving into a subject that I may not have had interest in before, and finding teachers that truly care about me as a student and want to help me find that passion so that I can continue having that love for learning as I go through life. And honestly, that's, I think, the secret to success nowadays. You don't see a lot of people that really focus on, instead of test scores or your grades, that just you're loving learning the material and that you're loving answering different questions and that you're going to continue doing that. And a way that Seacrest does that, I mean, I could list it on and on, like the amount of clubs that you're able to join, and the fact that you're able to student direct a musical if you would like, or you're able to go and reach out to one of the faculty members and do a shadow day with them in one of their classes, or you're able to reach out to the parents and have an internship. I was able to translate for an immigration attorney over the summer just because of the connections I'm able to make at Seacrest, because they truly go beyond just the classroom, and they prepare you for life, and it's truly just something that I can't thank them enough for. The fact that I'm able to go to Dr. Bowden's class or Mr. Schott's class and just talk about my day, or talk about how maybe inner conflicts that I might be feeling about the future, and be able to feel like I could do that and I can grow as a person and as an intellectual and be able to have conversations with adults and not feel like I'm less than them. And Seacrest really, it teaches you how to do that, and how to be able to advocate for yourself, how to be able to search for what you're passionate for, and to just be a part of anything that you're interested in and be able to do that.
Great. Thank you, Sabrina. Are we going to get to see some virtual theater scenes again from Freaky Friday?
I think so. Yeah, that's definitely something that we're working on right now.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, that what you said is so true. In my time in admissions, never have I met a 3-year-old that isn't just passionate and curious about everything.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part when you do meet 3rd graders, 6th graders, 9th graders, that it's almost if that curiosity has been educated out of them. Yeah. And that's one thing we want to make sure that doesn't happen. And now I get to pass it over to someone who, that's her whole goal here at Seacrest, to make sure that our lower school is the most engaging, curiosity-filled experience. So Tyra Turner, I'd love for you to come say hello, please.
Absolutely. Well, welcome to my favorite classroom here at Seacrest. I am by our playground that was designed and really created by our students here on campus. And this is just a small glimpse of what they are able to do if you allow them to. And it is my 4th year here at Seacrest. And as you enter the world of lower school, I will be a frequent face. So I will start with the admissions tour. And you know, frequently it's not easy, it's not hard for me to talk. But the most important thing when I'm welcoming a family or bringing someone in is really to do a needs assessment and to stop and to listen, because in our community, there are amazing schools everywhere. And I honestly believe that. What sets Seacrest apart is that we want to listen to each individual family. We want to understand where you're coming from, who you are, and introduce you to every little nook and cranny of our 44 acres. So I get teased about the Gilligan 3-hour tour, but we do private want to spend that time getting to know who you are. And for me, that connection starts the very first day that you walk on campus. You have a seat in our admissions office and we have that time to connect. I will tell you that I am not the life of the party. When I take families to lower school classrooms, that these children are more excited than you can imagine. So the first question when Mrs. Turner walks in is, do you have a first grader? Do you have a second grader? Our children authentically are yearning for new friends, new relationships, new friends to show off our playground to connect with. And that's not only on the student side, that's on the parent side as well. You know, there's no mandate hour here at Seacrest. You know, with our children, we try to throw everything at them and see what sticks so we can develop that passion. It's the same thing with our parents. We want our parents to come on campus and to get their volunteer badge and to do whatever they want to do. You know, frequently after I tour, the most common thing they say is, I wish I could go to Seacrest. I wish I would have gone to Seacrest. So we like to share that experience with our parents too, and allow them to come on campus to eat lunch with your child if you want to. I'm a boys here at Seacrest, and when my children came to school and wanted to eat together as siblings, they were allowed to. And that's just the type of culture and community that we have, and that's encouraged and that's supported here. You know, the hardest piece about being off of campus and doing this virtually, as I had our lower school teacher faculty meeting today, was me not being able to share all of them with prospective families. The diversity in our faculty and our teaching staff is just remarkable, and it really sets the foundation for students to be successful at every grade level. And what I value the most is that at Seacrest, your child can sit next to someone who wants to be a future doctor, artist, and that intellectual generosity is shared here. And children are taught from preschool 3 to support each other, to challenge each other, and to be a true stingray for life. And, you know, we talk about the soft skills, the problem solving, the collaboration, the teamwork. What I respect the most about our teachers is that they will stop what's happening academically to care for a child. And kindness does matter. And our children see that, and our teachers see that and know that, and that's important. So for me, it's foundational for Seacrest, and it's what I'm most proud of.
Thank you, Tyra. And, you know, during these times, like Mrs. Turner said, we love to get to know you. There's still ways to do that. At the end, I'll talk about some ways that we can connect, and even getting visit days for students into our virtual world. There's all kinds of ways that we can manufacture the face-to-face that matters, and the relational piece that matters so much to us. So with that, Mrs. Turner, thank you. I heard from Mrs. Minder. I had set her up in the courtyard. I think the sprinklers came on. She had to move. Are you there, Mrs. Minder?
I'm here. I'm here. I had to move into the sun as the sun keeps setting.
The sun.
I'm getting a little bit too much shade on my face, I'm told. So I had to move a little. Now I'm in the grass. But hi, I'm Kristen Minder. I'm part of the middle school leadership, and I've been here with Seacrest for 13 years now. I started off in PE and health. I still do teach health now, but I've moved into more of an administrative role so that I could be in the lives of every student all the time, which is fantastic. This is our middle school right behind me. I'm sitting out in the courtyard for a reason, to welcome you here. Like Tyra said, she's a familiar face in the lower school, and I'm the familiar face in the middle school. And I'm so excited when I get her students up to me, because they have that joy and love of learning that is so special and fostered here at Seacrest. A little bit about me. I have 2 children, 2 girls, a 2-year-old, rambunctious, and a 6-month-old just learning how to crawl recently and eat real food. And they both come to school with me every day. We have our baby raise program here on campus, and I am so lucky, like a couple of our faculty members are, to bring our children here with us on campus into the Seacrest family right from the get-go. We are so fortunate in that aspect. I also work with our alumni as a co-director of our alumni association. So I truly do get to have those little ones all the way through to graduation and get to keep on holding on to Sabrina and our seniors as they continue their lives as stingrays for life. It's true. Like I said, I've been teaching in the middle school now for 13 years, and one of my favorite parts of our entire program is the age of a middle schooler. They are coming into their own. They are independent, or so they believe. They are finding their independence strongly, and we are pushing them to become young adults and to lead lives of significance. But the best part about middle school is while they have that one foot in the independent side, they also have that other foot in the elementary side where they're still joyful and still loving to learn, and we're keeping that growing so that when I push them over to the upper school, I have a great team there that I know is continuing that love. One of the ways that we do that is in our advisory program. Each morning, our kids get to come together with a teacher, faculty member who is loving them, knowing them, helping them, advocating for their needs. They are there in the morning with a smile, encouraging them. And we go through things like leadership, like community service, like responsibility. We talk about things that are bigger than just our academic school day, but we also make sure that we get the nuts and bolts of our academic school day laid out and set for them as they go through their day. So it's one of my favorite parts. We take those kids through our advisory program into field trips and outreach experiences. We go to Parkside Elementary School. We read books to kids. We go to Terracina and see the residents in the senior citizen home. And we do it as a family and as a team. And that's my favorite part of middle school.
I myself am an 8th grade advisor, and really, you know, over these past few weeks, more so than anything, that advisory piece has been so important. The kind of the glue between the students, the middle school parents, and the teachers, just making sure that they can find success academically, of course, but socially and emotionally as well. That's kind of our main role as advisors. And this morning I met with my entire group. I say entire, but it's 10 students. We want these advisories to be extremely manageable, to be the advocates for them. And actually yesterday met with each one of them for about 15 to 30 minutes as kind of a virtual student conference. So it's definitely something that I love and enjoy, and kudos to Kristen for putting together such a strong program. It's not a homeroom. It's not a check-in, attendance, and study hall. It is a vital curriculum and piece of what we do here at Seacrest. So thank you, Kristen, and would love to now introduce in the upper school, Dr. Joe Board.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Yes, I'm Dr. Joe Board. I've taught history at Seacrest for the past 4 going on 5 years now. Also courses in philosophy and the history of science. And I collaborate to coordinate, I suppose one should say, the upper school leadership team. And our focus is on creating something that's intellectually serious and academically excellent, but individually focused. And we can do that because of the intentional sizing and real intimate community that we have in the upper school, roughly 160 in the upper school, 20 or so faculty. We are really able to know our students intellectually, emotionally as well, and really give them the kind of support that they need to forge their own path as, I suppose one would say, emerging adults, trying to cultivate that independence, self-reliance, but also interdependence and sense of community and sense of service. And we do this in a number of different ways. I mean, obviously there's the core curriculum, which we take extremely seriously. But we also are extremely interested in the social and emotional health of teenagers, of young emerging adults. We have a really very strong learning enhancement program, lots of support for the nuts and bolts. Our intention is to stretch students, to help them find their passions, but something that they can really intellectually push themselves with. We do that through programs like Inquiry, our independent study program. We foster collaborative skills, the skill of patient conversation about difficult issues in Symposium. And we've been working very hard to find analogues in the remote world as well. A focus on the individual student is, if anything, even more important in this rather different sort of environment, as with our Enduring program. And the two in many ways complement each other. We take public exams very seriously, and we run roughly 10 APs. We're not dominated by public exams. Instead, what we really want is the freedom to have flexible interdisciplinary work. And I wonder, Ryan, do we have an example?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's just take a look at something. I want to show you this.
Dr. Board sent me something today.
Yes.
Can you
All
see
right.
it?
Yes, I hope that you can all see this. Now, this was work that came in just this morning. I teach history. This is from our US history class. This is a graphic. It's based on research. It's a research piece. Most students did a paper, a formal paper. This student, I gave permission after careful conversation to do a graphic novel on the Nat Turner Revolt. And as you can see, it's actually modeled on a very important primary document called the Confessions of Nat Turner. And it's a modern evocation of that. And you can see that this is graphic design skills applied in the historical context. And I've got the intellectual flexibility to do that in my history class. And indeed, my colleagues have the same kind of flexibility across English, mathematics, science courses, and so on. So what we're doing, as I say, this came in this morning. It's not just sort of rhetoric. This is really what we do. We are about supporting the whole student in his or her interests and in what they can develop. And then that feeds through, by the way, I should just end on this, I suppose, with our college guidance program, which is very well developed. It's there's a lot of experience behind it, and we really do work to place children in the right niche. The fit is such a cliche, but we really take that seriously. And you know, we will get our kids into Georgetown and UVA, and we'll get them into the Savannah College of Art and Design. In fact, I rather suspect that student might maybe be headed in that direction, or the Colorado School of Mines. In other words, we have a very careful view of where students can go on their next phase. We are but a link in the chain of these young students, these emerging adults' lives.
Wonderful, Dr. Board. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Joe.
Kevin, did you want to jump in for a minute?
Yeah, I mean, just sort of before you do the closing, Ryan, you know, I just want to thank all the future Seacrest families. It's really nice for you to spend the time getting to know us a little bit better, and for us to sort of share what we really, you know, think about the experience. You know, my route to Seacrest is a little bit different. You know, we were looking for the best educational learning experience for our two children, and our two children were actually at Seacrest for 3 years before I found my way into an administrative role at Seacrest. So, you know, it couldn't have turned out, you know, better. You know, two, I'd really like to thank Sabrina. Thank you. You're awesome. We miss all of our seniors. We know this is a different sort of year-end experience, but we're going to spend the next 7 weeks celebrating you and all of your classmates.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Sabrina. You know, also the parent engagement that was referenced, we take that very serious. You know, that's one of the things that I miss. I don't not only miss the students on campus every day, but the engagement we have with the parents, the way that they're engaged in their lives and on campus. And we look to even do more of that in the coming weeks remotely. Third or fourth, I lost track. Thank you to this team. This is truly not only the best learning experience in Southwest Florida, but we have the best team comprised of teachers, staff, administrators, and I appreciate all of you. One of the things that we say often is, you're a stingray for life, and we sort of modified that a little bit different, lately. These tough times are temporary, but being a Seacrest stingray is for life. So thank you, Mr. Job, and I'll turn it over to you.
Wonderful. Yes, thanks everybody. Really wanted just an opportunity for everyone watching to get a little flavor of who the people of Seacrest are, given you're not able to join our campus right now. There will be a lot more to come. There's going to be divisional chats, going to be a little bit more engaging for participants to be able to ask some questions, to kind of really get into the substance, which is our biggest differentiator. There's so much, intentionality into our programming that is impossible to give you just now. It's why Tyra and myself take 3-hour tours to give you all the nuances and talk about, really the why. Why are we doing what we do? And then give you the how. So we're going to be able to do that. Don't fret not being able to get on campus. You can get on our website. You can schedule times based off your schedule to be able to chat with us in admissions. We can certainly do a phone call, but would be happy to do it. Zoom, FaceTime, any option that works for you, we'll make happen. We look forward to taking something that's really important for us on our campus and that parent education piece, and given these virtual times, send it out perhaps and now start giving back to parents in Southwest Florida or anywhere about, the things that we do to make sure we collaborate and we're on the same page, because the more that we're on the same page, it's only for the benefit of our children. Admissions process. This is not anything that's new to us. We've got international students that go through the process that don't step foot on this country's soil until we've accepted them, and they've done their FaceTime interviews, and they've done assessments, sometimes, a more standardized test, or sometimes sitting down with me or Mrs. Turner and doing an assessment by Zoom. So we can do all those things. I mentioned prior, we can plug you in, we can plug your students into visit days. You could come and be an 8th grader for a day and attend all of our live classes and, even advisory and some of the extracurricular components that they put together with the upper school students building our campus via Minecraft, sports teams that are connecting virtually. The Seacrest community has not stopped. If anything, it's gotten stronger, and we will be better from it. So the admission process with the application, I'm happy to guide you through that. Hearing from teachers, there's electronic recommendations we would get, the transcript, all of this we've been doing paperless for the last couple of years. So it's super easy for us to complete the process. We've got people that are actually thinking about joining now. As odd as that might seem, with only 6 weeks left of school, they're not happy with what they're receiving. It's tough times. I certainly empathize with you if you're in that situation. If we can help, even if it's not you coming here, but we can help, do not hesitate. There's parents on our campus, students on our campus that would be happy to connect with you and start a collaboration, whether you end up here or not. So I will leave you with Seacrest Country Day School fuels intellectual engagement, teaches ownership of the educational experience, cultivates quality of character, and inspires students to lead lives of significance. That is our mission. We are very proud of. If you were on campus, you would see it in every classroom on the wall. So I wanted to make sure that I left you with that. But we look forward to connecting further and answering questions. I'll stay on here for a little bit if there's any questions. Otherwise, we'll see you soon. Thank you all.
Thank you.